Hello. Welcome to Belonging Songs. It's your podcast that brings you a brand new original song with each episode and then talks about the theme of that song and the processes that went into writing and recording it, sometimes the changes we make along the way. I am your host, Wade Dana. With me today at Chad's house is Chad.
Hello.
Makes sense.
And Brad.
Hey.
We are hoping to get a call in from Mannequin Patrick here in a bit. Patrick is working, but he's going to find some time to talk to us once we're ready to listen to this song. But we do have someone else at Chad's house with us, and it's Bruce.
Bruce lives here.
So Bruce is
a badass.
Bruce is Chad's broom and dustpan that he's drawn a face on, and it actually fits pretty good into the whole Belonging Songs mythos. So welcome, Bruce. He's not very talkative.
No, he's very, very stoic.
He's a product of iRobot mockery.
We'll make sure to get a picture of Bruce on the... Is that okay, Bruce? Put a picture of you on Instagram? He has not said no.
He's indifferent.
He's indifferent, so we'll get that going.
You know.
If you listeners recall, we came at you from Chad's house last week for the instrumental, and Brad and I have just been camping out here in the living room, got our sleeping bags. We've been sleeping over, eating all Chad's food for this past week.
It's about gone. We're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, but we had to get this.
I stayed somewhere
episode
else.
in. Yeah. Chad stayed somewhere else, and we knew we had to record for this week, so we're gonna get that done. I was telling Brad earlier, so we're listening to a song this week by me, and it is a song that I recorded the music for almost exactly a year ago. And it's just been sitting, no lyrics. I like the music. Chad, you've actually already played drums to this.
Okay.
And so
I'll
but you probably
recognize
don't know what song we're getting into, but you will once you hear it.
Right.
We're not going to listen to the version with your drums, and that is because I forgot you put drums to it. When I recorded the vocals, and I had to do a rough mix on this yesterday to get this ready for today because I was working on the vocals up until then. And it's just so much easier to get a rough mix of the addictive drums because they're basically already done.
Right.
And then I also think there is a couple elements that I might retain. And you'll know when you hear what song this is. There's some very distinct tom fills that I'm thinking I might do like strange effects on and carry over into the arrangement even once your drums are in there. So I wanted to give the listeners a sense of the song progression. So that's why the fake drums will be in this demo. Now, this demo is called Bullet Jesus. And I'd just like to throw out a warning for any listeners who might be offended by us talking about issues such as abortion, gun rights, and religion. We're going to get into it in this one. So if that's something that you're not going to be comfortable with, you might want to bow out. But honestly, if you're still listening to this podcast after these 3 seasons, there's very few of you. So if you are, you've probably been through some of this stuff with us in the past anyway. So you're probably okay. We're going to listen to this song, and then I think we're going to try and get Patrick on the line, and then we can all have a conversation about what we've listened to. Does that sound good?
Let's try it.
All right. Now, Brad, I sent this out last night, said it's in this folder because we had to get it to Patrick. I said, feel free to check it out because I think something we should do more of going forward is
Pre-listen.
or at least pre-lyric reading. Just because it's hard on the spot sometimes to be like, hey, what's this song about?
To digest it.
Yeah. So I think we'll try to send lyrics out a little sooner at least, and then maybe still do the blind listen of the song. But anyway, yeah. So this song is called Bullet Jesus.
Say mullet Jesus?
I mean, maybe I should have, but no, it's called Bullet Jesus.
Oh, okay.
I also was telling Brad that I kind of hated this song as I was working on it. Like, I really like the music, and that's something I wanted to retain. But then I was like, well, I need lyrics, and so I started writing, and then I started singing them, and man, I was really not feeling it. I got it to where I do like it now, but for a while there, I was like, if I was Brad, this one would be in the dumpster and nobody would ever
Just be
hear
sitting there.
again.
Somebody would have to make you get it out.
But we're really
Sounds
under
jaded.
the gun. If we were not doing this podcast, it might
Never made it.
you guys might not be hearing this one, but we'll see. So as we've said in the past, sometimes those are songs that other people connect to. So maybe
Gotta finish them.
So I want to know from you guys when we listen to this if this is something I even should continue pursuing. So here we go.
Have you ever had a project just nixed like that?
No, not like that. Not by committee.
Oh no, not on the show, but Brad does it to himself all the time.
Yeah, I don't involve the committee. I just shut it down.
We've got at least one song that we've started an episode on years. Years. Swan Dive.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there are a couple songs that that are done.
So yeah, I guess it kind of.
When I say they're done, I mean they're never going to be done.
That was not by committee. That was just by Brad's refusal to ever work.
It's not working.
And it's funny that just came up because I thought about just finishing that and being like, here, it's a song, we need one. And that might still happen at some point.
Well, redo it, scrap it, and rewrite it.
Yeah, I've tried it. I've tried gutting it. I've got like 3 or 4 versions of it. I'd rather just...
Have I heard it?
Have a new one.
No,
I don't know.
Not.
I don't think so.
It probably would be everybody's favorite song.
Yeah, I'd rather just have a new song. It's easier just to start over.
I was thinking, because you do that a lot, and I always kind of give you shit for it, but I do have a group of 3 songs that I did for one of my final classes in college that I hate, and nobody's ever heard. I haven't listened to them in years. I was like, maybe I need to get over that, and because I always tell Brad,
maybe there's an idea.
Maybe there's something in there.
At least.
Well, maybe that's an idea for a whole episode next season where we just break out the hate songs.
Oh, you're
Could be 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's like, all right, here we go. We're going to listen to the stuff that we don't like at all.
Yeah.
And we'll never finish.
Yeah.
This one has no 3rd or 4th verse.
If we get desperate, we'll do that.
This one has 2 lines of a 6-line chorus.
Yeah.
We got a lot of that.
But, by doing that, maybe by committee, somebody would be like, I don't know, this one, maybe somebody have an idea to keep it going. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to listen to this one. Here's the demo. Like I said, this is still fake drums. This is early demos for vocal-wise. I got it to a point, but you'll notice that they still seem a little... I need a lot of background vocals, and there's no solo and stuff like that. So here we go. Beneath the darkness, beneath the stars, beneath the street signs, beneath the ground. What if some force inverted you? Think it would change your point of view above the ocean of helpless cry, above the notion of equal right. We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the knife, couldn't get it right. What if some force inverted you? You think it could change your point of view? We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the knife, just couldn't get it right. Such a failure's appalling, but far worse when it happens twice. Women bleeding, left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women pleading for their dignity, while only Jesus joys for the automatic community. What if some force inverted you? You think you would change your point of view? We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the knife, just couldn't get it right. Such a failure's appalling, but far worse when it happens twice. Women bleeding are left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women pleading for their dignity, while bullet Jesus joys for the automatic change your point of view. Beneath the darkness, beneath the stars, beneath the treetop, beneath the ground. All right.
All right.
Tonight.
Didn't really leave a lot for interpretation on that one.
No?
You got it on your sleeve there. It's good.
Is it?
Yeah, I think the song's good. I like
Okay.
I mean, the melodies are good. Like, take the content out of it. The melodies are good. The song's good. There's room for, I think, some building and some growth and things like that. And some whang guitar solo stuff. But yeah, it's a good song. I don't think it's a bad song at all. Solves that.
About the content.
Content's fine. Content's good. It's just like, you know how I write lyrics where it's vague? I like to leave a little loosey-goosey. There's no loosey-goosey.
Right.
You know what's going on here.
I'm going to try and call Patrick. I'm sure this is going to go super smooth.
Yeah, let's do it live.
Should we FaceTime him or just regular call him?
I don't know
What do you
anything
think?
about FaceTime, so I couldn't tell you how that goes.
The only FaceTiming I do is accidentally.
Yeah,
I hit the wrong button.
Because of that, I took it clean off my
Did
phone.
you?
I don't even have it.
Well, let's give it a shot just for kicks.
Yeah, that ring is usually the panic for me. Like, oh shit, who am I calling?
Not good.
I don't want him to see my. Don't see my face.
I'm on the crapper.
Hello?
Hi, you've reached Dr. Crane.
Hello.
Oh, there we are. Hey.
All right. Let me listen to the song real quick. Hold on.
You want us to call you back?
Yeah,
Or you-
call back.
How about you call us? We'll just keep talking here.
Sounds good.
All right.
See,
You ready?
play some hold music.
Is there anything you want to talk about while we're
We
we're
might as
waiting
well
for
wait.
Patrick here? Chad's got
Well,
some
I
notes.
can go, right?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I like the song too. I obviously do recognize it. I see what you're saying about the tom and the echo stuff. You're going to want to keep that.
Yeah.
For sure. That part sound good. Content, it's fine. I mean, that's what people are writing about, and there's no reason not to if that's what you're feeling. The only thing that I noticed is end of the chorus 1 and 2. I feel like you're trying to really squeeze that enjoys fully automatic community
Oh, yeah. I was.
into that. I think you can just space it out. And the automatic immunity, you can actually kind of just play like triplets and carry it all the way to the next. You know, it's going to pretty much jump into the next part. But those just felt crammed.
Okay. I wanted to ask about the swear. I thought about just keeping it the same and not doing the swear.
Well, I was talking about room to build. Part of the building, I think, is also with the vocal emotion because there is a frustration going back to the same thing. You're explaining how you feel, and I think you should get more upset as the song goes, and I think that's totally appropriate.
I originally had them all doing the swears, and then I was like, I think that's
I
just
wouldn't
too
do
much.
that.
That was
I
too
think
much.
I don't
yeah.
need that.
That would be
This
too
song's
much.
already like a lot. Like we're
Yeah.
talking about women who don't have control over their bodies in this country, and now it seems like guns have more rights in this country than women.
Yeah.
And we're talking about abortion rights, we're talking about guns and access to guns, and also freedom of religion, calling it Bullet Jesus is supposed freedom of religion in this country if you're a white Christian.
Right.
And a lot of advocates for guns come from the religious right. And those are the same people that are taking away women's rights in this country. So that's what this song is about. It's a lot, I know. So I thought swearing so much it was maybe too much. I mean, it's already going to be offensive to people, but it doesn't need to be double offensive. It needs to get the message across, though.
It's supposed to disrupt, right, somebody's mood. So that's a
Or
good
thought process.
Yeah, in your thought process, that's absolutely what it's intended to do.
You knew I couldn't let all that go this season.
No, I get it.
Now, you'll notice this is also missing the solo. Brad, you were kind of mouth soloing.
I got a good one for you. Yeah, if you get.
But
you
I
were
was
taping.
actually had a question for you guys. Like, do you think that this should have a solo in that spot, or actually treat that as a bridge with more lyrics?
I think it needs a break from lyrics.
Okay.
Personally, I don't know what you think, Chad.
No,
but
I think so too.
what's important, I think, in songs like this is to give the listener a minute to think about the song lyrically. And I think that's what a solo would do. It'd be like, okay, like gives you a chance to kind of slow down and think about all the things you are hearing. And then you go back into it and there's a new context. I think a solo would allow for that.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a main question I had about that.
I'd put it in there.
Yeah.
Brad, you said it was pretty apparent right off.
Yeah,
the
I think
get-go.
it's right on the sleeve, and I think that's a good thing. Like I have a hard time doing it, and it's probably more from a place of insecurity more than anything. So you try to camouflage it, make it a little vague so people don't understand what you're saying. So you can always say it's about something else if they get it right. But I think it's good that you did that. Like it's a strong move. I think that's good.
Writing lyrics is such a weird thing to begin with. Like you have to have some measure of conceit to be like, I'm going to say this thing that I think people should listen to. I think that's why I struggle with it so often and why I enjoyed just playing instrumental music. Like if it was up to me, all these songs would probably just be instrumental.
Yeah.
But it's not as interesting, to talk about and get into conversations about and have people listen to. And most people want the lyrical content to grab onto. But it is a strange exercise in ego and conceit.
It's better to think of it as more of not about what you're saying, just in provoke or get people to think about anything, whether it's political or not.
Right.
That's how I try to do it, is I try to get them to solve a mystery that is the song, and then if they figure it out, it's awesome. And if it makes them feel anything at all, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So...
Did you guys ever solve that mystery board at your house?
No.
No?
No, case is open.
So Brad's
cold case.
Brad and his wife and this
my mother-in-law,
they've been working on. It's one of those things you get in the mail and it's a mystery.
Yeah.
But I just noticed that it's been at your house.
We had a murder
time.
board and everything. It's still an open case.
Open case.
It'll probably get cracked open this winter. We'll solve that son of a gun. But we've solved other ones since. But that one is a cold case.
Okay.
Yeah. Comes with like crime scene pictures and everything. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Oh, here we go. Here's
Oh, Danica.
That was like 8 minutes.
Brad. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
What
Ooh,
up?
hot mic.
It's hot.
Hot mic. Different mic.
Cool.
Okay, let me
That's good.
adjust you here. We listened to the song. We've been talking a little bit about it. We're hoping to get your thoughts on this. Thanks for being here, by the way. I know you're working. I thought you were working from home. I wouldn't have asked you to do this had I known you were at the office. But now that we got you, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Everything's on the table. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about lyrics first or music?
Yeah, jump into the lyrics first for us, because that's what we were just getting into.
Not as ambiguous as the last song, Wade.
Okay. Yep. That's what Brad had said.
I could probably spend a whole episode just talking about the importance of protest songs, but it's funny. I was having a conversation with my wife about not just this issue, but the whole idea of, well, just put out there, hiding your bigoted or closed-minded views behind religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any overt issue with religion until you use it as a scapegoat and to try to control people. And so I guess it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. This song lyrically resonated with me profoundly as I was listening to it. I think he did a really nice job with portraying the violence of doing that, particularly with the phrase "bullet Jesus." So kudos to you. Musically, I'm surprised the song wasn't more angry. I actually looked at the lyrics first and then listened.
Okay.
So I was expecting like a full-on distorted screaming into the microphone, but that's obviously not what you get. You get this much more, I guess, mellow vibe instrumentally in some ways. I really like the music of the song, and I'm guessing there's going to be a solo somewhere around the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, Brad was kind of doing a mouth solo during our listen, so I might just, take that and put it right in there.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I would. And that fulfills the beatbox requirement for a second song.
Oh, you mean mouth drums?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear you say that about the lyrics, because I was telling these guys I wasn't sure if I liked them as I was working on this. I didn't know if it was going to be too much on the nose content, but I also didn't want to let this issue go by without touching on it, because that's something I feel is important, or that I found is important as we've progressed through the seasons here with belonging songs.
Sometimes you just need to say it, right? It doesn't need to be buried in metaphor and left to the listener. So I think this certainly does it. Is it on the nose? Yeah. Should it be? Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a detriment to the song at all. Yeah, I'm really curious to see, did you guys talk about at all how you're planning on filming the song?
Filling it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know the song comes in with those big background vocals that start the song, and I just didn't have time to do more background vocals like throughout the choruses and pre-choruses, and I do plan on doing stuff like that. Obviously, I need a solo. I had actually asked these guys, do you think that this song needs a solo, or if I treat that empty spot as a bridge with more lyrics? And they both kind of said they think a solo element would be better.
Yeah. I don't think the song needs more lyrics. You know what I did hear in this is horns, like some brass in the song. I think would be really cool. Just some like half and whole note, sustained note kind of trumpet sounds, and just subtly in the background to sort of fill it out.
I like that idea because that intro with the big background vocals sounds almost like a church chorusy type of thing. And some horns would tie into that religious aspect.
Yeah. I think they fit the somber vibe too of the song. So I would love to hear you play around with that if you have the time.
Okay.
Every now and then you guys will write a song and I'll just automatically hear the backing instrument. And this is one of those cases where I think they would just fit in nice and snug.
Okay. That's something I'll play with then. I've got to get this. I've got a week to finish this one up. And Chad actually has put drums to this, but we listened to the Addictive Drums version just because there's some specific things there in the beginning that I think I might retain. Some of those weird tom fills and affect them in a certain way. So that's something that's going to add some more energy, and it does. It was just way easier to put a rough mix together with the fake drums because they're already basically rough mixed as is. But as far as other elements, I mean, I'm not sure what else I'll do, but I'll definitely play around with horns and probably some strings and stuff.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stood out to me. I mean, obviously, it's going to benefit from the Chad treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the percussion will also sort of generate that foreboding frustration that the song lyrically is, that maybe musically isn't there yet.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to get in, Patrick, before we let you get back to work here?
I just want a pool report.
Oh, I was in the pool. It was quite crisp and refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Anybody shoot an arrow out of that thing yet?
Not yet.
All right. I'm calling.
And Patrick,
I'm calling squatters' rights.
Is that the new launch zone?
It
could be a new launch zone for arrow catch. But
man.
Brad and I had to use old tennis balls today, Patrick, because
Yeah.
you weren't there with your 1,000-pack
Yep.
of new balls.
Yeah, and I do that on purpose. It's, like I said, I can't be upset that you guys are playing, but I can at least vocalize my displeasure and protest a little myself. And part of that's control over the fucking ball box.
That's right. At least you can be missed.
Yes,
Right?
there's-
Because you're like, well, we're playing with old balls. If Patrick was here,
Yeah.
we'd have some
I'm not here
Crispies.
for my company or for my skills, but you guys will miss those fucking crisp balls.
So
Right.
for
I'm in the
context,
same boat, man. I'm in the same boat.
for context, BS, there's like Brad and I were playing with a bunch of old balls for a while, and then we were like, oh, we should probably buy a new pack every time we play for like the game balls.
Well,
cool.
to be fair, we saw a couple of older dudes
Oh, yeah.
pull up and they were like getting into it. Boop, new
We've
balls.
learned all
We're
our
like-
tricks
I
from
was like,
watching
oh,
older dudes play.
Oh, people play with new balls every
Yeah.
time.
But then Patrick one day rolls up with like 1,000-pack of like
Full case.
huge thing. So yeah, he's in control of them. But
Yeah, and I don't want the BSers to think we're like rolling in money from this podcast, even though we are.
Right.
They're Pens. They're not Wilsons. We don't have Wilsons.
Right, yeah. I'm just worried you popped them all open and sniffed them already.
I was frantically trying to spot weld them that shut
Yeah.
so you wouldn't notice.
all right. Well, Patrick, we appreciate you being here with us via phone today. And we're gonna jump to the future on this one, I think.
Sweet.
Cool, guys.
All right, bud.
Thanks for having me. Sorry I couldn't be there. I'll try to be in person next time.
Oh, good,
Right
brother.
on.
Brad, if you find a stranger dipping in that pool in the middle of the night, don't shoot. It's probably me.
It's there for you.
All right, bud.
Yep.
Take care, everybody.
We'll see you.
Bye.
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 Set course.
To the future!
Okay, and we're back. We are back in the studio. Bradley is here with me. No Chad, no Patrick, but we have a special guest here, Shanna Dana.
Hi, everyone.
If that last name sounds familiar, it's because she lives here.
I'm the lady of the house.
Shanna is a lady, and that's why she's on. I was working on this song pretty much all week and had to finish it up today, like really minutes before Brad walked in. But before that, Shanna gave it a listen. I've been working on it, and she hadn't heard it, but I got it to the point that it's at here, which hopefully is close to done. And she listened to it and had a reaction. And so I asked if she would want to come on because I think it's important to have a female voice on this issue.
I'm a long-time listener,
She's a
first-time caller.
Long-time female, too. So,
This podcast is run by dudes, though.
yeah. Well,
Just want that.
I mean, it is.
I'm just splashing in.
I'm just kidding.
It's performed by dudes, but behind the scenes, Shanna does run
She
some
does
stuff on
run
this
the
podcast.
stuff,
She's kept us fed throughout all the seasons.
Absolutely.
I'm
And put up with all of us
I'm
over
a
here.
pretty good cheerleader.
You're our executive producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for
thank
sure.
you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time this week. Like, we only recorded on this, 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Last weekend,
Or was
wasn't
it last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So I've been cramming to get this done. I did a lot. There were suggestions from Patrick to put horns in, which is not somewhere I would have gone, but there's now horns in this.
Hence the podcast, right?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Here.
So I did some work on the keyboard with synths and stuff. So I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 tracks of different synth. There's an organ, there's some trumpet, and I think that's it, but different versions of them. You know?
Cool.
And then I added a bunch more guitars. The arrangement was pretty sparse when we first listened to it, so I really thickened it up, and it kind of took a turn. I didn't think it would end up where it is. It's much more psychedelic sounding,
Okay.
I think.
Good.
I don't think it's a typical Wade-sounding song,
No?
which I really like that about it.
Which is funny because I wrote the music for it like a year ago, and it just
And
sat
it
around.
sounded
but-
like Wade's music when I heard it the first time.
It's
So, last week. So that's fun
It's
to
just a
have a
click.
diversion.
it's just a click to the left or the right.
Yeah.
So I say we listen to this mix,
Yeah.
and then we'll get into it.
Excited for that.
We'll talk about it, and then we'll get out of here.
Do we do background vocals during the song, Brad? Is that
Yeah.
what we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we talk shit too, like throughout. He cuts it out.
I did put background vocals in this. Brad did a solo with his mouth
Yeah.
when we did our first listen,
Yeah.
but I didn't end up using it. So I actually recorded the solo for this morning. That's how far behind getting this done. And that's how
Down to the wire
I was
you
down to
were?
the wire. Yeah, I was recording still on it this morning.
Just in time podcasting.
Yep, I was recording vocals on it last night and editing, and so I finished recording this morning and mixed this song today,
Nice.
all in a few hours. There was already a few things where I know I'm gonna tighten up a little bit, but
Yeah.
for the podcast here, it's gonna be real close. Hopefully, obviously, we'll see what you think. So let's do that. So here we go, Bullet Jesus mix.
Beneath the darkness, beneath the stars, beneath the streets out, beneath the ground. What if some force inverted you? Think it would change your point of view above the ocean of helpless cry, above the notion of equal right. We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the knife, couldn't get it right. What if some force inverted you? point of view. We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the night, just couldn't get it right. Such a failure's appalling, but far worse when it happens twice. Women bleeding, left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women bleeding for their dignity, while only Jesus enjoys for the automatic community. What if some force inverted you? Think you would change your point of view? We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the night, just couldn't get it right. Such a failure's appalling, but far worse when it happens twice. Women bleeding, left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women pleading for their dignity, while only Jesus enjoys for the automatic community. Women bleeding, left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women pleading for their dignity, while only Jesus enjoys for fucking autoimmunity. What if some force inverted you? You think you would change your point of view? Beneath the darkness, beneath the stars, beneath the treetop, beneath the ground.
All right.
The thing came together nicely.
That's a lot different, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, it's the same, but a lot different.
Like more filled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sparse before.
Yeah. I just have pre-chorus. Check.
Yeah.
Like, those are great.
I built the lyrics off of that pre-chorus.
Yeah,
like, that was the
I
first
just-
line I had.
I love the chords. Like, it's something I would do.
Like the cut yourselves
Yeah.
part. Okay.
Yeah, like the doon, doon, doon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like just that progression. It
I thought the
gives
organ
the song a tone.
really was cool. on
Helps that a lot.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like those notes gave it emotion.
Gives it a tone. Yes,
Yeah.
helps with that push.
Shanna, let's talk about your reaction to this song. You've had some time to process it, though that's only like the third time you've heard it. We listened a couple times earlier.
So we sat down, I listened. I immediately was in it. I had told you earlier, as soon as the first couple parts came in, it didn't necessarily sound like a Wade rock song. I don't know how to describe it, but it pulled me in right away. And the emotion of all of the many themes of the song hit me hard. I think I was tearing up at the pre-chorus. I wasn't facing you, so you couldn't see me. I had a strong reaction. There's a lot of heaviness in this song, but I really like your political songs, and this is by far my favorite one you've done.
Cool.
I think it's really creative how you wove it all together as well. Like, I feel like sometimes a song it's about one issue, and that one issue feels so big that you can certainly write a whole song about it. But to have it all blended into one, I think that's where a lot of the emotion came in for me. It's where all of these things intersect, and I feel like me being a woman, who I am, what I do, they intersect a lot. So I think that's part of my reaction to it.
And you had some interesting notes on some of the lyrics and the way you interpreted them. The part where, what if some force inverted you? Do you want to tell the listeners your take on that, which I thought was really interesting? It wasn't necessarily what I had in mind when I wrote them, but the interpretation you got from it, because the rest of the song, I think, really elevated the meaning of it. For me, even as the writer of the song.
I was asking you some questions about what that part of the lyrics meant and what if some force inverted you. I was honestly thinking about if someone was shot with an automatic weapon, the insides of you would be on the outsides of you.
Literal inversion.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where my brain went first. And then I asked Wade, I said, that can't be the only interpretation of that lyric. What were you thinking when you wrote it?
Say you were changed into a woman, Brad.
Well, something told you to do something. A force changed your.
Or what if it was a split second?
That's the on the surface meaning of it's like, yeah, what if you were instantly changed?
I took it more in theme with the song where the force was, say, a law, right? And some force inverted you. I took it very literally, I guess. I don't know
Because
if that was the intention.
That's what we just experienced.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
What if you're a man in power, a white man in power in Washington? You know, you're making these laws. What if some force suddenly did invert and you're just suddenly a woman? Like, what do you think? How are you going to look at
yours
these laws?
You wrote it more as a challenge to change perspective. Like, think about your perspective differently, right?
Yeah, a lot of the first part of the song is about perspective and changes. So we start above, and we kind of zoom down from the sky. And then we talk about this inversion, and then now we're talking about above things. But then we find out we're talking about people, you know, being above other people, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that I wanted that line to kind of evoke these different thoughts of like, well, it could be this, it could be that. I think there's a lot of that in this song.
I had said earlier, I think that's a mark of a great song. When there's a lot of different ways to interpret the lyrics, so somebody can jump on this way or jump on that way, and it can have meaning for them, even if it isn't the same meaning as what you intended. Even it's powerful.
One thing I do like about this now too is that the music. Earlier, like, you know, whatever, 5 minutes ago for these people, I told them that, like, hey, it's a very literal song and it's kind of on your sleeve. But the music actually pulls that back a little bit because it makes it more of just a tone. It makes it more of a feeling than like a lecture, if that makes sense. Like, not that it was a lecture before, but like it was a bunch of words coming at you and it was very literal. And you're like, okay, I get the story. I know what this guy's doing. But then now it's like a whole weight is on you, and you're like you're listening with intention.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that both you and Patrick, and I think maybe even Chad, said like, "Oh, this is blatantly about this," which it is.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot for interpretation in there. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, I definitely hit the mark, but I think like the whole first part of the song is very metaphorical and vague. Like, you have to think
I think it might be just because, you know, we know you and we know everything that just went on and it lines up. Easy crime to solve, right? We know what's going on. The music and the way everything came together changes that in a good way.
Cool.
Like in a really good way. Because it does make you think about what you're feeling and why instead of just what's being said to you, which is good.
I like that insight. I also feel like a lot of your political songs, the music's more angsty, it's more rock. You come in strong because the emotion is so strong. And this one is more somber and reflective. That hits me harder. Like personally.
That's why I really struggled with the swearing in it.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't know if I wanted to push it that much because of that. Because I wanted this to be more, this is a bummer, right?
Yeah,
This song,
and you get a little
vibe is,
and you're
like,
getting a little more upset kind of as you go.
Right.
It's sinking in.
It has more weight when you just use it once at the end.
Yeah. That we'd kind of discussed that last time.
I had it throughout all of them before.
Yeah. And so but he took them out. We didn't hear it.
Right.
It was just we kind of all agree unknowingly.
Yeah. Now Chad had a comment to play around with that line, the fully automatic immunity, because
I think you hit it this time. I don't know if you played it around, but
I really wanted it to say fully automatic. Like that's a point of the song.
That's the link, right?
Where full automatic just didn't drive it home enough for me. I say full automatic at the end, but I do the swearing. So that nails it a little harder.
It fits better with everything being filled out.
And there's some background vocals that I don't love that are in there, and they're tucked way behind, and some of the lines spill over past the original, and
I'm
I'm
okay
gonna
with that.
probably tuck those.
I heard it
in a little
though,
more.
and it sounded almost like a delay.
Yeah.
A little bit. I thought you had an effect on it. I wasn't mad at it. It just sounded a little spacey.
Yeah.
So it depends on if you want that in there or not.
A lot of this went more spacey than I thought it was going to.
But it's good. Like again,
I like
it gives you that
spacey.
sort of aerial vision where you can expand from the one issue, right? That's what I was trying to say earlier. Like it pulls you back a little bit.
Well, the whole beginning of the song where we start up basically in the darkness and then we pan down to the stars, the treetops, and eventually underground. I mean, that's all of us, right? We're all under the same roof here on Earth.
Yeah.
And yet we still insist on all fighting and just making horrible decisions for
regulate
other people.
Your life, your decisions, your body,
Yeah.
you.
That's the whole cut yourself on the wrong side of the knife thing.
What was
like,
Brad's interpretation of that lyric?
What's
That was one of the other ones that I brought up with Wade earlier.
My interpretation of it is in a sort of religious sense, I think, is where it's trying to do something good and you're trying to use something properly, but you are doing something wrong, sometimes just through what you're doing by mistake. And so you cut yourself on the wrong side of the knife. It's like, I'm trying to be good, but I got myself. I don't know.
That's exactly how I...
Is it? What we have a big problem with is everybody has a hard time with other people that don't think like they think because of how they've been taught to think. I was lucky enough to grow up with parents that were like, okay, I want this for you so you know what's right and wrong, but you do what you want
Ultimately,
afterwards.
you're gonna make
so
the
you
decision,
take the
yeah.
parts and pieces you like, and then you give the bullshit back.
Those are the facts of life, Brad.
You take the good,
Yeah.
you take the bad, you take them both.
Yeah.
There it is. And you know what? There's always going to be people that believe that they're right the other way. And that's okay, but there has to be some sort of
discourse.
balance.
All I can do is
Yeah.
is write songs like this. And if that's all that happens is we talk about it and maybe somebody else hears.
Back to the cause here. Again, nailed it on the tone. Everything fits really well. And then when you throw the substance on top of it, it just makes you feel something different and makes you think. And I think that's important for songs like this that you write.
Yeah.
It makes you think.
How did it feel when I listened earlier? My immediate reaction to the song.
Yeah, I knew then. I mean, that's what keyed me in, like, okay, I'm in a good spot here. Because if I get that sort of reaction,
This is
I mean,
powerful.
you were in tears. And that doesn't happen often with,
Every once in a
My
while when we
songs.
yell at her about the ice cube trays.
oh, yeah.
My fatal flaw.
I mean, you just take the one on the top, you use those ice cubes up,
No, man.
you fill it, and then you put that one on the bottom. You
This
don't
one's
take
only
3 or
this
4
one's-
ice cubes
This
from
one's
every
only
tray.
got this one's only got 2 cubes. Fuck that tray. I'm getting this full tray.
It's really hard. Really hard.
We love her, and she takes
I'm
great
good
care
at
of
other
us.
things.
You want to get a little technical? The only interesting things production-wise were that I used a couple of pedals that I don't usually use for the guitar. So my Ultra Super Annihilator.
Why
is a
isn't
very-
that on the board?
very weird-
Being used all the time.
Weird fuzz. I used to use it more, but it's such a specific sound. So it's a very glitched out
Yeah.
buzz that's
that-
in the background.
Okay.
Now the solo
Yeah.
is that Jupiter effect Super Weirdo, it's
Yeah.
called.
I remember when that was on your board when you first got it.
Yeah. Now that thing is already super weird, hence the name, but it's also like broken, so it's extra broke and doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I think I came down at some point when Wade was recording that sometime this week, and I just thought to myself,
That was this morning.
what the hell and where is this going?
Yeah. That's
But
my
on-
wife's reaction
on
every
my-
time I sing.
But the last time I listened, there was a point towards the end where it was reminiscent of Sirens, which I thought was fitting in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
Like an emergency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Not sexy ones.
We're in
Yeah.
we're in a state of emergency. Yeah, not the mythical Sirens.
So I think we're going to call this one good. Like I said, I think I'm probably, because I just mixed it today, I'm probably going to go in and do some minor tweaks. But in the meantime, it'll be up on our website, which is,
Belongingsongs.com.
yep, you can send us a message there, bs@belongingsongs.com. We're coming to the end of the season. Actually, this is the last song of this season.
I'm getting so bummed because it means winter's coming.
Yeah. One episode left, and it's going to be our big year in review. Those are always fun. We kind of look back at the whole season.
Pretty fun.
I really like them.
In its entirety and give you little snippets of each song. They're very good episodes to tell your friends about because you get a taste of the whole season.
For me,
The
it's always
belonging
fun
songs,
to
juice.
listen to the playlist at the end of the year
Oh, yeah. And
when
you
it's
know
all
what?
done on
That
Spotify.
Playlist is on Spotify, and we are close to 100 songs. It's super cool. I mean, I'm going to have to check that, but it's like many hours long.
It's awesome to go back and listen to the first one because you listen to everything kind of out of the context of the show. And there's just some really
You don't
good
have to listen to
material
us
in
talk
there.
about it.
Yeah, there's good material in there, and
Yeah.
it's fun to harken back because you know the story, so you can listen to it and you go, "Oh yeah, that I remember." You know,
After each season, I compile all the songs into like an album, basically, for Spotify, so you can go and listen to them all that way by year.
that's sweet.
Link in the episode description. That's about it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I know we got heavy, but I think it was worth it, and I think it
Thanks,
was important.
everyone.
And Shanna, thank you very much for coming on. I think it was important to have a different voice than just us dudes on this one, so I appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
All right, we are going to get out of here. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Beneath the darkness, beneath the stars, beneath the streets out, beneath the ground. What if some force inverted you? Think it would change your point of view above the ocean of helpless cry, above the notion of equal right. We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the knife, couldn't get it right. What if some force inverted you? You think it would change your point of view? We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the knife, just couldn't get it right. Such a failure's appalling, but far worse when it happens twice. Women bleeding, left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women bleeding for their dignity, while only Jesus enjoys for the automatic community. What if some force inverted you? Think you would change your point of view? We cut ourselves on the wrong side of the night, just couldn't get it right. Such a failure's appalling, but far worse when it happens twice. Women bleeding, left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women pleading for their dignity, while only Jesus enjoys for the automatic community. Women bleeding, left to die. Meanwhile, only Jesus aborts another child. Women pleading for their change your point of view. Beneath the darkness, beneath the stars, beneath the treetop, beneath the ground.
What really sucks is another thing that we always tell ourselves is ABR, always be recording.
Yeah.
And I stopped recording, and then Shanna starts with that gem.
The fuck is wrong
That's
with
why I
you?
let it rip, because I knew you weren't recording anymore.
I started back up. I got some of
Oh,
it.
you got nothing, man.
Yeah, it's good. Boom, done. Next.